Honolulu, Hawaii is one of the most expensive cities when it comes to both real estate and cost of living, but people are still moving there. It makes no sense. Well, I mean, until you get there and realize it's beautiful. Honolulu has gained population in all but one census ever since they showed up on the national head count back in 1890. Why wouldn't people be moving there? It makes sense. It's a city on a tropical island with some of the greatest beaches the world has to offer. Today I'm going to show you why people are still showing up in Honolulu and calling it home. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, the employment opportunities. Honolulu is a tourist hotspot. They see about 10.4 million tourists every single year. So that means they need a lot of people to work that industry. You may not know this, but there's certain people that just love to work in the travel and tourism industry. Wages sometimes aren't the best, but it also affords them the opportunity to move other places and live there for a while, things like that. There's a few YouTube channels where that's what they do. They don't work the best jobs in the tourism and travel industry so they could travel. Honolulu sees a lot of them. It's not just the travel and leisure industry, they also have a big healthcare industry in the Honolulu area. The Department of Defense also has a big presence here, and it's not just the military. Which, if you've ever been in the military in Hawaii, you'll realize you eat on post a lot because the place is expensive. And if you don't know what that means, on the base, your food is pretty much free. Number 9, good air quality. If you're someone that wants or needs good air quality, Honolulu is a pretty good choice. For being a city, they have extremely good air quality, and a lot of that has to do with the ocean being right there. Blows most of the smog out into the ocean and on to parts unknown. Honolulu is ranked first in the country for the cleanest air in a major city. And if you've never been to Hawaii, the tropical atmosphere and the locals' lifestyle makes preserving the natural setting for the state a priority. And this kind of shows up in their air quality. If you're a retiree, though, and you've got bad lungs, or especially if you were in the military and you're suffering from some kind of lung disorder, good air quality is a big thing for you. Number 8, good wages. You know, this one's kind of a double-edged sword. They do have really good wages in Honolulu. The entire state of Hawaii is always in the top 10 for the highest wages in the country. Just this last October 1st, the state raised the minimum wage to $12 an hour. And by 2028, they're moving that up to $18 an hour. Now, keep in mind, the minimum wage, it has a lot to do with their cost of living, and that's why they're raising it. The cost of living is pretty high in Honolulu and most of Hawaii. But again, if you're working in the travel industry, a lot of times they supply you with a place to stay. I know some people that live in Hawaii, they while they're going to college or whatever, they live with their parents. So, it's a win-win for them, but it's still expensive. So keep that in mind. Number 7, it's an outdoor heaven. If you didn't know Hawaii is great for outdoors, congratulations on waking up from that coma you've been in since birth. This one's a no-brainer. The weather is mostly on your side when it comes to Hawaii. This leads to the possibility of endless outdoor adventures. And it's not just in the Honolulu area. You go out all over that part of Hawaii and it's amazing. Snorkeling, scuba diving, free diving, surfing, windsurfing, paddleboarding, and just about anything else you could do when the sand meets the water. You could hike all over Hawaii, Diamond Head's right there. They've got zip lining. I don't know what the big zip lining boom is, but everywhere I go, there's a lot of zip lining, and Hawaii and the Honolulu area is no exception. I was in Alaska and we were watching these people do this huge zip line. You could hear some lady from the top as she started coming down. You could hear the hum of the zip line. Then you hear these people screaming as they get closer. Hear this woman yell, "I peed my pants!" I don't think she could realize that echoed through the whole valley. If you're not into zip lining, there's tons of hiking trails, waterfalls to go see. Yeah, it's hard to deny Hawaii and the Honolulu area is a beautiful place to be outdoors. Number 6, the weather. The weather in Hawaii is great if you like it a little warm because it pretty much stays warm. Sure, they have the occasional hurricane blow through and they get some strong winds during certain seasons, but for the most part, it's nice and warm and a little hot. I mean, after all, it is the most southern state the U.S. has, closer to the equator, so it's always going to be warm. Even though I did hear they had a little snow not too long ago, like last year, I believe. They had a little dusting, nothing major, but they had a little snow on Hawaii. Now, if you move there, expect this. The average summer temperatures are about 85 degrees, and they get up from there. That's the average. Whenever I tell someone the average of a temperature, they gotta throw in there, it's like 95 degrees every day. Well, no, not every day. The National Weather Service sees it differently. And during the winter, it gets all the way down to 78 degrees. How can they stand that? So you can expect sunshine just about every single day, with the occasional rain cloud flowing over for about an hour, and then it's back to sunshine. Number 5. Number 4, diversity. Yes, Honolulu and pretty much all of Hawaii is big on their diversity. Now, if you talk to a lot of the Hawaiians, they're not too keen on this. They really don't like all the different people moving to the islands, but it's part of their landscape now, and I guess you got to deal with it. That's not saying they won't welcome you there as a tourist or as any kind of visitor. They love having visitors there. That's pretty much how this state stays afloat. They just wish you would leave after you're done spending your money. That's just the tourists. They got a lot of different people living there these days. Matter of fact, their demographic makeup is 38% of the population identifies as Asian, nearly 25% is white, and 10% native. Now, a lot of the native Hawaiians, they've mixed with different people over the years, so there is a lot of half Hawaiian, half whatever. This means you'll have all kinds of different foods to try, you'll have all kinds of different festivals to go to, and chances are you'll find a community in Hawaii or the Honolulu area of people that are probably from the area you're from. Hawaii is actually the least white state in the country. Number 3, the beaches. Yes, the beaches are amazing in Hawaii. We've all seen the pictures. We've all seen the movies. Everybody knows that Hawaii has amazing beaches. There are over 400 named beaches on the islands of Hawaii. And they're not all just sand and people and suntan lotion and things like that. They all have unique features. You're sure to find one that you'll fall in love with. If you're not from the beach community, like I grew up in Southern California, usually within a mile from the beach most of my life. And all beaches are different, and you get this different feeling and you get this different vibe from the beaches. It's really strange. And you find one and you that's your beach. Where I grew up, if you went, a half a mile straight west, you ran into what's called Nob Hill. It's in Redondo Beach, California. That's not where I hung out. That just wasn't my type of beach. I went to 2nd Street in Hermosa. It's where all the people I grew up with went during the summer, even during the fall, even during the winter sometimes. If you go on to the different beaches on all the islands, you'll find green beaches. You'll find red sand beaches, which have iron deposits in them from the local geography. You'll find darker, almost black beaches from the lava flows. It is truly amazing. Number 2, Hawaiian time. If you're tired of living by a schedule and having deadlines and things like that, move to Hawaii. They really don't do that. It's kind of laid back. You don't wake up to an alarm clock in Hawaii much. At least if you're living right in Hawaii. No alarm clocks. Life is slower there. It's just the way of life. There's no need to rush through anything. That's for work and dates with people and going to have coffee with your friends. You'll be much happier when you slow down and truly live in the moment. And that's kind of how it is in Hawaii. There's a lot of work and overtime in most states. They really don't get into that in Hawaii. Hawaii's like just relaxed and people are calm, and it's like Jamaica without all the dreadlocks. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. There's a link down below. Also, if you're thinking about moving to another state like Hawaii, there's a link for Home and Money. They can get you in contact with a local real estate agent anywhere in the country. All right, on to number 1. And number 1. Great healthcare. That's right, Hawaii has great healthcare. It's actually some of the best healthcare in the United States. And Honolulu is one of the best places in Hawaii to get great healthcare. Honolulu has 8 good-sized hospitals with too many clinics to count, and different urgent care type places and doctor's office, there's plenty of healthcare in Honolulu. On top of that, Hawaii has this prepaid healthcare mandate that all full-time workers in the state receive some sort of healthcare insurance, putting them as one of the healthiest states, and they have one of the longest lifespans in the country. When you look at the overall healthcare and why they're one of the best or the best state for healthcare in the United States, it has to do with the access. Access includes how close the nearest hospital or clinic is, how quick can you get in to see a doctor, emergency room wait times, and can you afford to go? A lot of people will blow off going to the hospital because they can't afford the doctor bill. Well, a lot of that is covered in Hawaii, so people are more than willing to go to the hospital. The number one hospital in Hawaii is Queens Medical Center, which is verified by the American College of Surgeons and designated by the Department of Health as Hawaii's first and only level 1 trauma center. A lot of retirees end up in Hawaii. That's like the dream place to retire for a lot of Americans. They kind of have to have good healthcare with all those retirees there. Now, Hawaii's prepaid healthcare system doesn't cover federal workers and the military and things like that, but the average Joe that doesn't work for the government or a union gets this. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.